Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And not much, Ron. World's real quiet, actually. Don't know if you noticed. Gosh, super quiet.
I know.
Which is exactly how I started off the last pod. So these last 2 weeks have felt like 3 months. And I'm really excited to talk about some soccer and beer.
Yes, and there's a lot of soccer that has been on as of late.
Yes, a ton of news. And Ferris and I, we just got tickets to go see the ladies on the 22nd of January. The U.S. Women's National Team do a little play-in. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. Jealous. You're going to have to send me some pics from the stadium.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about that. So we've had the festive fixtures obviously wrapped up, and we've now started. The FA Cup's been going on, but no Premier League this current weekend as we record on January 10th. But we have been having some FA Cup games.
The third round proper, as it's called.
Third round proper. Yep. Chip, cheerio. And of course, it's 9 in the morning for Ferris and I, so it's time to have a beer. As it's
why the hell not
10 p.m. for you, Ron?
No, just about to be 10 p.m.
All right, who's kicking off Burrs first?
I mean, I can.
Okay. I can. Boom! I'm right here. I'm ready to go. I'm so excited and ready to go.
Man, whatever you guys go.
All right. Well, so the beer that I'm bringing in was not a Christmas beer, but a beer given to me at Christmas. And I feel like it's a beer that's literally brewed for me. I did not know it was a thing that existed. You all know one of my favorite breweries is St. Bernardus. And what I have here, and I'll put it for you guys because the can art's pretty cool, is I have the St. Bernardus Tokyo Belgian Wit. Belgian Wit is one of my favorite style of beers, and to me, St. Bernardus makes like the perfect example of this beer. But the Tokyo one's really cool. The St. Bernardus Tokyo, as it says on the website, does this sound familiar? You're quite right, because in 2012, we launched a one-off brew on the occasion of the opening of the first St. Bernardus-themed cafe in the Japanese capital. It opened 4 years after I left there, so I hate that I missed that. 8 years later, you can sample our St. Bernardus Tokyo again, albeit with a new recipe. The young Belgian illustrator Jonas de Vacht created the artwork for the can, which consists of an impression of Japanese nightlife in the iconic streets of the Kanda district, where you can find Brasserie St. Bernardus. St. Bernardus Tokyo is an unfiltered ale which has been brewed with a large amount of wheat, holding the middle between, and this is what I'm excited about, a white beer and a saison. 6% alcohol by the St. Bernardus Brewery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the label?
White beer saison?
The label has got this cool can art. The normal Belgian monk has been sort of silhouetted out in silver of the can, and then it's all about the art on the can of all basically like a street in the Kanda district with like the red lanterns hanging up and everything. It's pretty cool.
That's
like a
sweet.
little beer ramen shop kind of thing. Like, yeah. I'm super stoked about this Belgian beer. Tokyo.
Sorry, where'd you find it?
Total Wine, actually. My wife was going to get me Christmas beers as fun gifts. It's funny because I was torn between. I was going to bring 2 beers, and then I was like, nah, I'm going to bring the second one of these because I really want this so bad. And she was trying to find stuff out in the Belgian section and saw that and was like, oh, that's going in the stocking because that's just St. Bernardus in Tokyo. That's Blake all over. So
sweet.
I've been waiting.
I like it.
Waiting to crack this bad boy open.
Nice, man.
So I got one for Christmas too that I've been waiting to crack open. So if you've listened to any of the other pods, as I've mentioned a million times, there's so much Belgian and German beer here in China. And I found, I received for the holidays a limited edition beer. I guess they only made 1,000 bottles, and I have bottle 66 out of 1,000 bottles.
Like Order 66 from the Emperor in Star Wars. Sorry, that was Ferris. I needed to get one nerd reference in there.
One? I'm pretty sure your quota is
There'll be
full all the time. So this is from a brewery that I cannot pronounce. I think, or cannot pronounce well. I think it's called Rigel Bravelt.
Is
you
it
guys will
Rigel?
see
Is
it.
it
Don't worry.
German?
What?
Is it German?
Yes.
I think it's Rigel, not not with a J sound, but that's as good as I got for you.
Okay. Well,
I can just say it fast and loud, and that's it.
We can post it.
I am an expert because I've been watching a documentary series on Netflix about Germany in World War II lately. So I feel like I'm an expert at speaking the language.
Oh, pinkies up.
Right? Well, this brewery was founded in 1386.
It's a long time ago.
Which means it might be the oldest brewery we've had on the pod.
I thought Westenhofen says that they're the oldest, or is it they're the oldest continually operating brewery? Is that maybe their claim to fame?
Maybe, but I'm still researching it because now I'm really curious. Mm-hmm. I only got about halfway through our page before we started the pod, but so far, out of half the beers we've had, this is the oldest.
Certainly sounds the oldest.
It is called Ator 20. And it is a wonderful dunkel. It's a dark 7.5 ABV beer with a roasted malt and caramel aroma, which I haven't actually smelled yet. According to their website, the food pairing is venison, deer goulash, and roast pork. If you get a chance, you should go to their brewery, go to their webpage, because they have a historic timeline of all the major events that have happened in their brewery. I'll just read you a couple because it's like a huge page. So 1386 is the first generation. Hans Schmid is the person who starts the brewery and calls it the Golden Horse Brewery. The trademark of the brewery survives to this day. And the second generation in 1408, Johann Schmid, moves the brewery to a different tax district when his dad died in 1439. Then it goes an entry in 1434, 1437, 1469, 1476, 1482, 1484, 1486, 1491, 1508. Like, it just keeps going. And another cool thing is looking off the way, and you guys can kind of see on FaceTime, but they have in families brewery manuscript on the website.
Oh, that's
so you
wild.
guys can kind of, and then they have
it's like some Indiana Jones stuff. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, 1566, 1593, 1641. Then the sixth generation of brewers, the son Caspar Degmar marries this woman I can't pronounce, and he himself, a brewer, operates or revives the beer sales of the brewery. And like, it just keeps going. 1766, 1786. And it talks about the family lineage and when they sold the brewery, when they bought it back. Anytime somebody dies or has an interesting invention, has 1904, 1911, 1954, 1990. Like, it just goes. It's a really interesting, and I read the whole history, and it's actually really fascinating. And you should really go to their website and check it out. We'll make sure to post it on the social medias and whatnot. But throughout, they have kept the same 7 values in their brewery, from 1386 till present day. Number 1 is great freedom. We are independent and free from corporate commercial concern and other imposed structures. Therefore, the beer is the finest quality. Number 2, personal responsibility. We stand by our great name and reputation. Number 3, unique variety. We offer a genuine variety of taste sensations.
Are they hiring? They sound awesome.
I know. They have 15 beers in their normal repertoire. And then they have 30 seasonals and another 10 or so special brewers, special beers. Then they have the highest quality. We brew beers with character made from only the finest ingredients. Number 5, a clean environment. We dedicate ourselves to respecting the environment and nature. Number 6, genuine tradition. We've been cultivating our love for food and handcraft beer since 1386. And then number 7, contributing towards regionality. We are actively engaged in maintaining local employment opportunities and contributing towards sustaining a healthy regional economic infrastructure. It's cool.
What was the brewery name again?
So here's the name of the brewery. It's Reigele Brow, B-R-A-W.
Brow, well.
Yeah,
Browville,
the W is
I think.
a B, right? So we'll post it. I think it's Reigele Brauwelt.
That looks right or sounds right when
that sounds right.
But it's a cool ass website, and their beer, all their beers are pretty highly rated. On Untapped, it's a 4.5. So I can't wait to give this bad boy a try. 7.5% ABV. I'm going to get wasted and go to bed.
I was just saying, that's a good night's sleep. That's going to be a very good night's sleep.
Yeah. So your turn, Ferris.
Well, I'm going to bring the interesting level of my beer down by a lot, probably, based off of the two that you guys just introduced.
Ron had history.
Say what?
Ron had history behind him.
Hey, you had history. You had something that we haven't seen from Belgium, from Tokyo type thing going on. To get in the spirit of what is soon to come on this pod, why don't you guys select my beer? I have options.
Uh-oh.
Either do a lager, a tropical IPA, or a double IPA.
I mean,
I said,
I guess you either need to start with the lager or the tropical, because you don't want to start with the double. That'll wreck your palate moving forward.
Are you having more than one beer on the?
We'll see how the time goes. I don't quite know yet.
So that's probably a yes. Lager to start.
Yeah.
Okay. Lager to start.
Because today brings back one of our favorite things in the show. Speaking of choices, I can't wait.
Oh, yes, it does.
I'm so excited.
All right. Well, gentlemen, what I have for you is a genuine keep cold, drink fresh, 16 fluid ounces, 5.3 lager. It is actually the same brewery that I had on the pod last time we potted. That was the makers of the shirt and beer that I had, the Chudley Chupacabra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
right.
Chupacabra beer. I want to try that.
It is from Tactical Brewing and was one of their 3 can releases and bottle releases to start off Orlando Beer Week. From Tactical Brewing, I have for you the base lager.
Oh, with the base walkie-talkie. That's cool looking,
yeah.
man. That's a great can art.
Yeah, really, really cool.
It's so like it's as it says, an unfiltered American lager, but the can art style, they have basically created something that looks like an old beer that did exist back in the day. That's a really cool logo.
Yeah, it looks like a post-prohibition style kind of 40s beer.
Yeah. If you look back at like early PBR cans and stuff like that, it's got that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, and very like there's not a color on here that like pops out at you. It's just very subdued.
In a very complimentary way. It's like a beer that would be sitting in a movie set in the 1940s. They couldn't afford to pay for the rights to get something specific, but like that totally just fits. Yeah.
And what's cool, if you guys go on their Instagram at Tactical Brewing, how they do a lot of their can art is if you were to get like a 4-pack or something, you could turn it in a way to where it would have a nice like 3-beer picture frame type set.
They've got
on
a new
how
one
you set it up with that.
With a 4-pack that I want to get because it's all the Ninja Turtles. It's like 4 different beers paired to the Ninja Turtles and the can art. But
who does that one?
I think it's Tactical, I believe. And instead of being instead of looking like a cartoon Ninja Turtle, the art is like a real looking like snapping turtle, something that's wearing the mask or whatever. It's cool looking.
Oh no, I think I did see that. I think that is actually
or is that Ellipsis Brewing?
Ellipsis Brewing, probably.
Ellipsis
yes.
Brewing. Okay.
Yes. And they are fantastic as well. And they actually just dropped a bunch of cans for Beer Week as well. Yes, it is. It is Ellipsis Brewing that does that one. I'm seeing it right now. That is awesome.
Man, the Orlando brew scene is still kicking it, man.
Kicking it. So Tactical to start off Orlando Beer Week did drop 3 other beers, which I actually had when I was there on Friday. A Cosmo Pie, which is a imperial sour, and it was real interesting. It was
sounds right up Ron's alley. An imperial sour.
Oh yeah, it was interesting. It was it was done in collaboration with Dissolver, which is a brewery from Asheville, and they threw in tons of graham crackers, mash, and conditioned Cosmo pies, and plenty of strawberry puree, peach puree, lemon peel, cinnamon, and vanilla to create this crazy fun sour. And it was crazy fun. It was very, very interesting. You bring it up and you think it's going to be a stout or something, because all you smell is just graham crackers. Then you drink it, and it's just, you taste every bit of those. You taste the lemon, the puree. It's insane. That was one that they did. They did a respiratory pause, which was an Imperial New England IPA. That was,
man, you just never would have imagined 10 years ago you'd hear those kind of varieties being cranked out by some place in Florida, or let alone Central Florida.
Right. And then the last one that I had was a Milarona, based on the is it a Mexican tale from La Llorona?
La Llorona, yeah. That's
yes. And this was an imperial stout, and it was interesting with some peppers, chili, sour oranges, and hibiscus sitting in at 12%. But that one was interesting. I believe I put that on our Untapped.
Oh my God, I can't believe how bad I want beer, and it's only 9.10. That all sounds so good. I want more variety than I even have right now.
For this is just a unfiltered American lager brewed with Pilsen malt and noble hops. They've actually had it on tap there before, but this was the first time they've canned it. So, what did I say? It was 5.3% on the ABV, and it should just be a nice American unfiltered lager.
Shall we?
Shall we?
Careful, Ron, with those yawns, man. You've got an 8% beer there.
Look what I have.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
Did you get one of the weird bottle openers? That's awesome.
Yeah, a friend of mine got it for me. That's so funny. And it worked. I didn't have to jerk off.
Oh man,
What?
that
was a
good
great
because
timing.
the timing of you cut out audio wise at the worst spot that you could have in that sentence.
Right
Ron.
as you said, jerk.
I didn't have to. Awesome.
All right.
Man,
Ooh,
look
boy,
at
is this a
that
dark beer.
beautiful, unfiltered, cloudy ass wit beer. Oh my god, man, smells
Look
amazing.
how dark that thing is, Ron.
I love between the three of us, we literally have like light, medium, dark.
Ooh, yeah, you can't really see mine right now. It's going to be in a can from Brewtiful Game. Koozie.
Oh boy, is
Right.
it smells a little bit like alcohol. Ooh,
Oh man,
ooh.
this smells a little bit like heaven. Saint Bernardus, the monks taking me to church over here because this smells good.
Yeah, very caramely and very malty, but with a little snap of alcohol in there.
All right, cheers, gents. Let's do this.
Cheers. Oh, that's a tasty beer.
Man.
Oh.
Man, when they describe this as the perfect balance in between a Belgian wit and a Saison, it's so true. It has that coriander and like orange peel vibe, but you know how like a Saison has that more spices, not spicy, but like the spices in it?
Boys, I don't think Tactical can make a bad beer. Holy mackerel. That is a just lovely, easy drinking, unfiltered lager, just as they say. Brilliant.
Ooh. This one is really, it's got a lot of,
it sounds like you're trying to parse something. You're trying to be polite. I can't tell.
No, it's quite good. It's quite good. It's got a caramel aftertaste. The body of it is really full. It's almost nutty in the very beginning and then turns kind of sweet toward the end, toward that caramel. That's a good one. And you smell the alcohol, but you don't taste the alcohol very much.
That's
for a 7.5%. Yeah, 7.5% ABV. Ooh, that is quite tasty. Ooh, yeah.
Mine is flipping delicious. Good Lord, it's good.
Yum. I'm so glad I waited for this beer.
I was going to get, I have one, Ron, another one that I hate you're not here for. I'm not going to do it today though, because I'm going to save it because I wanted to have two of these, but I have an Allagash session beer that I've never seen from them that almost made it. Almost made it into the show.
I miss Allagash so much.
Well, we get a few of their beers here. Still not Allagash White for some reason, which is my other favorite Belgian wit beer, but yeah, I think it put me on a desert island. It used to be, you remember Hazed and Infused, who I don't think that company exists anymore, Boulder, Colorado Brewing? Yep. That used to be my desert island beer, but I think a Belgian wit beer from St. Bernardus is truly my desert island beer now.
Man, how do you go wrong?
I still have one of their Christmas beers left. I almost brought that in too.
St. Bernardus is like,
man,
God, they have so many. Remember we had those 60-year ones that we saved from the app 12?
And we were supposed to save one for like 10 year, they said at least, and we totally did that. Those were good.
Yeah, we did it all on special occasions on like 5, 10, and 15 years.
Probably means that the 75th is coming up soon, or 70th is coming up soon.
Yeah. That'd be so good.
Well, Ferris, I gotta say, as we get ready to go into the soccer, you kind of shook up your format a little bit on your notes, and I dig it.
Yeah,
your table. It's very, very nice looking, man. Our
trying to provide a little bit more information to you lads on the state of the Premier League.
It's really good. So as you've stated up here, the festive fixtures have ended. They were indicative of a COVID-19 season. They were weird.
It was weird. Yeah. You're right.
Yes, I think we've all kind of gotten used to the lack of crowds and stuff, but just also that, the teams still don't necessarily there's very little copy paste from last year. Even though Liverpool is still up top, they don't look like last year. And this festive fixture was kind of interesting because it gave a good chance for a lot of teams to keep things very competitive.
It did, but it did so in a very weird way because
it spread it around a lot.
Yeah, there was like a game every day opposed to what we have been used to in the past of games on, say,
like a bunch on this day,
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then you'll have games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday again, or something to that extent. Like for Boxing Day, for instance, there was only 4 games. Right. Where it wasn't the entire league playing on the same day.
I think a little bit what made that different too was Christmas and New Year's fell on a Friday, so it gave you that ability to spread the games out over the weekend.
But even with the regular programming of their games, I guess, or the regular scheduling of their games, we used to have 4 or 5 games at the 10 a.m. hour here, right? And then a 12:30 game, and that was it. You know, we're talking on our time zone with the Eastern time zone, where you would have an early game, a bunch of 10 o'clock games, and then one 12:30 game to kind of end the day. Right. Now the format seems to be an early game, a 10 a.m. game, a 12:30 game, which is usually your premier game, and then a 2:45, 3 o'clock game. And that's kind of how they spread it out across.
But don't forget, too, I mean, one of the big differences...
Several days.
I don't know, maybe they would have done this anyway, but it actually makes sense that they did all those changes for the pandemic, because for the first time, most people are watching in England these games on TV. Because before, as Brian had pointed out, when he was in the UK, you don't get great coverage of the league on television unless you pay like a premium price. But now a lot of the games and matches, obviously because of COVID-19, have been put on TV. So I didn't even think about it until you were just saying that. But I wonder how much of this has to do with trying to set up a good... If you can't make money from butts and seats, you instead of putting all the games on at the same time, you might as well spread it around, try to get as many people to watch, so that you can get as much advertising dollars as you can. You know? So
I bet it's all about the advertising money.
That makes sense. I mean,
100% it is. Yeah.
So it's to be honest, it's a very NFL style schedule, right? I mean, like in terms of like games spread around throughout the whole time. So that makes sense.
Maximize your viewership.
Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have a choice.
Yeah, that's it.
True, because
they're back in lockdown for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So we've got our big headlines. I love that Ferris gives the top headline to no less than Manchester United.
It's some of the big news right now.
Up in second place. Tied with Liverpool on points. About 7 away from the goal differential.
But we also have a game in hand.
Can Man United win the league this year?
Can they? Sure, they can.
I mean, certainly.
Will they?
I'm not. Before this festive fixtures, we were all. You were like, I don't know, man. Ole, and just he might get strung along and stay longer than he ought to. I mean, it's a weird spot to be at the end of the festive fixtures.
It is. We just got knocked out of the Chupacabra Cup, and the Premier League, Europa League, and the FA Cup are the only things we got left. And I think the Premier League is the one that Ole and United are going to just hone in on. I think that's what you have to do, even if it's just staying in that top 4 with as competitive as it is, from all the way down from 10th to 4th is separated by 3 points. You're going to have to really stay on top of it in the Premier League, because you lose 2 or 3 in a row, you're down to what, 12th, 13th?
Actually, 3 to 7th place are all separated by 3 points.
I think you can just look at Chelsea for that. Second and third in the league for a good majority of time, and then have a little bit of I can't say it was a stumble. It was more like a trip over your own 2 feet and land in the gutter. But now went ninth.
Right. And that's how, I mean, when the season first started, Blake, we were kind of switched, right? Because United was down there in 15th, 16th area, and now they're up there tied on points in second with a game in hand on Liverpool. I mean, it's, we're only about halfway through the season, so there's still a lot to be played, and Liverpool are starting to get back some folks and are looking strong with their front three, but they're not looking as strong as they have been in the past. They have still those defensive woes where without that rock there at the back, Liverpool tends to be on the back foot, countering with pace a lot more so than what they're used to of just straight out attack from the gate. And it's been an interesting time for them. On the United front, I can't sit here and say that all the performances have been great and that we played to the potential that we can, but we're getting wins, and we're getting it in various ways that aren't necessarily high-flying, goal-scoring, and just one goal, after another. What I think we all found out is without Bruno Fernandes in that team, we're not where we're at, and we don't have a shot at even pushing for the title, let alone top four.
Can I open this conversation up a little bit wider, though, and
Sure.
say that, and I actually said something about this in the previous episode, and I'm looking a little more correct. You're talking about Man United in a way because you are, instead of just saying, hell yeah, we've got it, because you're recognizing, this is not me picking, I think Ron and I'll say this about our teams as well, there's a lack of consistency. You're like, okay, it's good to be up high, but we have been a little inconsistent, so can we stay there? The team that does not have a consistency problem is Leicester. They're only a point away from Man United at third, and they have been staying up there in that top fight for most of this season. And I could sneaky see them, the way that they are and the struggles that Liverpool is having. And again, I have struggles with them still being a very good team. I still could see Leicester City also being a potential, I don't even call it a dark horse. It's like a medium horse. It's not, because they're better than a dark horse. But they have, of the top six, I'd say them and Liverpool have been the most consistent. I mean, I know Liverpool's had some issues, but they have stayed up top. But Leicester City has stayed in that fight pretty strong the whole time as well.
Well, and yeah, because they aren't the Leicester of a few years back, but they are very, very solid in how they play from the front to the back. Vardy hasn't been on his terror of a goal scoring streak this year, but he's providing
scores when they need it the most.
Pressure,
man.
Yes, he does, but he provides pressure to other teams' back fours that allows people like Harvey Barnes and James Maddison and those kind of offshoot players to get in there and get in behind the line. But it's because of what Vardy does, because of the pace and the pressure that he pushes on that back four. Now, they're also very solid in midfield. They're very solid at the back, and they have one of the probably best goalies in the league. He's kind of dipped a bit, but that was United's last draw in the league at 2-2 back on Boxing Day, and you kind of understand why Manchester United and Liverpool, that game was 2-2, and it was well played by both games. You can understand why they're both 2 and 3 in the table at the current time, because of their consistent runs that they have been on. For United, we haven't lost a Premier League match since
What,
November 1st. November 1st at Arsenal. Or was it at Arsenal or was it at
But
United?
the weird thing is that caveat should be, yes, as Madden said,
at United.
you scored more, so you didn't lose. But so many of those games were always like, oh, you're going to lose 3-0. Oh, never mind, you won 4-3. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Very come from behind
a lot, yeah.
So if you guys can come over, I think that's the thing. If you can come over that hump, where you're more on the front foot the whole game, yeah. I mean, it's still pretty wide open. I don't know, man. I just got my little heart's got a little fox in it right now. I'm feeling good about Leicester.
I really think it's going to come down to, for Manchester United, if they can be, and this is, the story of a bunch of teams, if they can stay consistent. Manchester United goes on these rampages where they are super hot and they're all clicking. And then for seemingly no reason, the back four can't find the stadium. The midfield starts hanging out in the parking lot. Paul Pogba is on another planet. And for some reason, one of the best set of attackers in the Premier League can't find the ball. And I don't quite understand what has gelled for them to go on this rampage at this time. Nor will I understand why they fall apart unless it's injury, right? But Manchester United and to Chelsea to some extent, it just seems like they catch fire and then that flame burns out. But it's all the same players. It's all the same set of circumstances for the most part. Injuries here and there. But consistency is key.
For me, it seems like it's more confidence in the league form. Regardless of what happens, United's confidence in the league is we have this streak. We're up here at the top. We need to stay up here, which is what we had all throughout the late 90s, early 2000s. And it was that mentality. Even though we're behind, we will get goals and we will win. That mentality, that morale, that confidence can go a very long way. When I look at the table, what is most concerning for me from a United standpoint is the goal difference is the lowest in the top five. Now, there are two sides to that, though. We've scored the second most goals in the league at 33. However, we have given up the most goals in the top 12.
Right.
That is concerning if we are trying to win the league outright.
That is a crazy stat. I'm looking at that. The only person as high as you with 24 is the Wolves at 13, like as you go down the list.
So that is why that is so concerning to me. Now, I don't mind our defense, but what we tend to do is we turn off. We turn off or we don't get a good start to the game. And between that and some shaky play from De Gea from time to time, we give up a goal or two early. Now we're having to fight back. And eventually that's going to give way, and we're not going to be able to fully come back. Now, I think being knocked out of Champions League is going to help with that. We have Europa League games, but I don't think we're going to advance very far in that. I think our main goal now is stay in that top four and win the league if you can. So can we win the league?
What do you attribute? What do you attribute the sudden on flare of all this? Where did all this great confidence? They've been, playing so well, because earlier this season there was zero confidence. There seems to not be a kind of moment where it all just started.
No, I don't think there was a single moment. It was a build-up. And that's kind of what I was talking with the league is you win one game coming from behind 2-0 down. That's a bit of confidence. You win the next game coming from behind to win 2-1. That's more. And it just continued to build in the league, though. Because remember, we got knocked out of the Champions League, and we just got bumped out of the Harbor Cup. So I don't Ron, I agree. It's not one single moment you can sit here and go, this is it. It is just purely league form, confidence, and we won one from 2-1 behind, or however much it was. We won the next. Let's just keep it going. Now we're on a 11, 12 game unbeaten streak.
Right.
Keep it going. And I think that's the bit of confidence that is kind of going through the team, that we will win these games. And that confidence, that morale can go a long way with teams. Look at Blake, your Boxes a few years back. You win a few on the bounce, you beat some big teams, you just keep it
and you keep rolling.
And you see if you can keep it rolling for 38 games.
It definitely made the top four fun. The only other one we haven't really talked about here is Tottenham. The Spurs took a bit of a slip. And they're 29 points in fourth, just 3 off of third. But
and a game in hand still, too.
They do have a game in hand, and they're tied 29 points with fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh place, which is Everton at the bottom, then Southampton, then Manchester United, or City, at fifth. Tottenham, though, see, at this point, if I were the betting man, I like the push. I like the cut of the jib of Manchester United right now compared to the Spurs. The Spurs they're still not shaking that. We're awesome, but we screw up the wrong things and can never get into the door. Vibe that they've had.
Yeah, they are in the finals of the Chupacabra Cup. They could win their first hardware in a very long time.
Yes.
And then sitting only 4 points behind top with a game in hand, they're sticking around. And for me, that's where I still look and I'm like, I don't like them just sticking around. Because if they were 6 points back, we're like, all right, they're on a little bit of a slide. We win a few, they draw a few or lose. We can gain some divide there, but they're sticking around. That kind of I think that has to be scary for the top 6 because you have Kane and Son.
Yeah, and those two, man, when they are on, they're just impeccable.
And they have been for a majority of the season so far.
Yeah. Well, if we've learned anything about this season so far, it is you can't really count on anything. The only thing you can count on is that it's going to change. Teams are going to, it seems more so this year than in years past, but how many places teams have changed, and by such a drastic margin so far.
Yeah.
Everton was top of the league for, 2 weeks. Now they're sitting in 7th. Aston Villa was in 2nd for a while. Now they're in 8th. Same thing with Chelsea. The league is just constantly changing in that top 10.
Except for Sheffield United.
And
West Brom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I in the top 10.
But sure, but I would even argue all the way down. Even it shuffles around a lot. But man, I'm just looking at that points against 29 goals against Sheffield United, negative 21 goal differential, 2 points. Jeez,
not a single win.
Well,
15 losses. Oh,
yeah, and you don't even get the bounce of money being in the Premier League from people attending your matches. As far as
I think you still get the TV bounce.
Yeah,
if you go down, but
get money.
But yeah, you're not getting the and that's where I think it hurts. It does hurt some of those. I think it hurts all of the teams, but it does hurt some of those lower in the league teams.
They can't
fans aren't there because Is the Cottage the same place without fans? At Fulham, is Turf Moor the same? For Burnley, I don't think they are. It's not that way. In the same respect, you go up to a Liverpool. There's no fans in the top end. I mean, there was there for a few games, but it's not full. It's not as intimidating as it kind of once was, just because of the times that we're in. Like, it does have an effect on everything. But what I also think that does, I think it actually evens out the table a little bit more, because now every team has a shot. They're just playing on somebody else's ground. There's not necessarily that home field advantage. Yeah, every pitch will play a little bit different. The stand behind the goal may be looking weird if you're trying to take a shot. It just kind of depends. But for the most part, they're just playing Sunday league ball or whatever on a field.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
That we've already talked about Chelsea a little bit, but your second headline was, will Super Frank soon be singing the blues? Which is, that's a great album. As Chelsea falls to 9th after only having one win in their past 6 matches in the league. I didn't realize it was that many matches.
Yeah, we've slid quite a bit.
And Chelsea was looking so good.
Yeah.
Frank has to figure out what his best team is.
Yeah, where does Timo Werner go? Where do these players? There's still a bit of shuffling to find the position, which is a lot of playing people out of position. I don't know.
Best position, best team. Who can you sit there and go, here are the 11 players I'm going to start every single match? Now, what I can say is, this is a symptom of what teams like Chelsea have gone through. United have had this, issue for the past number of years since Sir Alex left. Chelsea have had this since Jose left. Arsenal have had it since Wenger left. They kind of had these issues of trying to figure out what their best teams are. For Super Frank and Chelsea, and the times that we're in, being that if you don't win a game in your first 3 games, you're sacked. He needs to start figuring that out quickly. And to be halfway through the year and haven't figured that out, that's a problem.
Well, there's so many names already linked up with a possible move to Chelsea if Lampard is sacked. It's unbelievable how fast names have been piloted. Andriy Shevchenko is one of them. Another one, Raul.
No more Poch.
Yeah, Poch is off the table now.
Buddy? Yeah. And then another one is a name from Leipzig.
What was that?
So Julian Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann, yeah.
There's so many people that they are trying to. Also, another one was Brendan Rodgers. But again,
why would you go?
Said this,
just like with the Arsenal.
Why would he leave Leicester?
Yeah.
It's just crazy that, how fast they have tried to replace him. And I agree. I think the 3 of us were talking off the pod once, and I was saying I don't understand the fact that the past 3 Chelsea bosses have really enjoyed playing all of these amazing strikers and midfielders in positions they don't normally play.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for years on the pod. Why is Jorginho in the center mid instead of N'Golo Kante? N'Golo Kante, I sound like a broken record. He is your distribution man in the center midfield. He is quick in the transition. He protects the back four, and he distributes the ball really well to the wings during transition. Why is Jorginho in there? Move Jorginho out of there and put Kante in place. Why is Timo Werner, not Timo Werner, God, who's our other signing? I'm not in front of it. Havertz. Thank you. Havertz and Werner are bouncing all over the attack. And why isn't Werner playing that number 9 role? I don't understand. I agree. That's what he's there to do. Overlap him with Christian Pulisic, Mason Mount, bring Kovacic up through the mid. Like, even you could even bring Hudson Odoi. Hudson Odoi's gotten attacking.
Yeah.
Let him play off there. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me why the Chelsea bosses have turned us into kind of a Frankenstein of where we're going to play a team or play a player and under what circumstances. What's interesting is that out of all of this chaos, the only person who I feel is really come through this as a leader in the team is actually Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, actually, he's come out looking really good.
Well, he's looked good since he literally came out.
Let's be fair. So he came out of the womb with that coiffed hair.
Yes, beard perfectly in place. Yeah, he's looked good from the start of it. Yeah,
he just winked.
Yeah, but find a system and play it. I think they got to change the formation instead of this 4-3 stuff. Right? Maybe you play a 4-3-2-1. Right.
Okay, so so who would your 11 be in that though?
Oh, okay. So starting in the back
here we
would
go.
Be Azpilicueta. What?
It's Ron's fantasy league. I love it.
In the
with
back
the formation that you said, because I can give you a 4-3-3 that I think could work, but I'll let you go with yours. And you said it was what, a
4-3-2-1.
Okay.
And I think I would put Azpilicueta, Zuma, Silva, and Chilwell as the back four. Okay. I think they play well together. I think Silva is really good at communicating and putting and really anchoring that back line. So I think they're pretty solid there.
Cool. And you want Azpilicueta in goal, right?
Obviously, Mendy would be a goal. Jerk. And then I would have the next so that's the 4. In the 3, yep. I would have Kante in the center, flanked by Mason Mount and Kovacic. Yes.
All right.
And then as my 2, I would say you have a Christian Pulisic and you have a Timo Werner. And then up top would be Tammy Abraham. And you let those 3 bounce off of each other and let overlapping runs just create complete havoc with a back 4 with Timo Werner pulling off to the side or Christian Pulisic coming out of the wing. And then you have Mason Mount coming up. You have Kovacic coming up. And with Kante distributing the ball to those 6 players, you've got a pretty solid attack. I don't know. That's what I think. And of course, you got a million subs.
Oh yeah, you
Havertz.
You have your 85th minute, Olivier Giroud,
Hudson Odoi, Giroud.
Yeah.
So
interesting there.
I don't know. I think that's what I would do. Complete layman. I'm talking completely out of my ass.
No, I don't disagree with you on too much there. If you do stick with the 4-3-3, I would change, instead of Azpilicueta in the back there, I would put Reece James. I think he's been a very bright note for you guys, and he can get up and down the field very, very well.
He just turns off. He has the Manchester United problem. He turns off.
He's young. Well, his sister plays for the Manchester United women's team.
Right.
I don't know if you guys
That's cool.
knew that, but yeah. But he I think he has more wheels, and he's not as wise as Azpilicueta is, but to last a full game, I think he just offer more. That's why I would have him in the back. In midfield, I would definitely have Conte just sitting right in front of that back four and just being the pit bull that he is and just protecting the back four and just trying to link play. Now, your midfield could be interchangeable, but I think you give Havertz a full run out, and he's in there with either Mount or Ziyech, but probably Mount on form. Now, your top three, Timu definitely right down the center. And if I'm Frankie, I go, hey, lad, you go right down the center. Right, you are there. Get in behind. Go. With Pulisic off to the left and either Hudson-Odoi or Havertz off to the right. Or I'm sorry, not Havertz. Ziyech. So I think the Ziyech Mount play on where they can play is the only interchangeable that you should be able to do. Now, I don't mean move Mount out to the right wing, but you can move Ziyech with his attacking ability and what he's shown so far from a right wing to a more central role, and Odoi can kind of do as well. Everyone else for me, Jorginho, Kovacic, Giroud, Tammy Abraham, subs that can come in. Giroud doesn't have the legs. I think he just super sub. He'll get you a goal or two, but what else does he offer? Yeah. He holds it up well. But he has no pace anymore. He has nothing that pushes the team entirely forward, because he may have gotten goals throughout this run, but they still lost.
Yeah, it's true. And really, he's been scoring goals because he's in the right place at the right time.
Which is what he's always done. That's been his thing.
He's never had wheels. No. Right? So he's never really had pace. He's just been the gigantic lumberjack that you get the ball to.
Sexy lumberjack.
And so, I mean, I completely agree with you that he's a sub. I think Tammy Abraham, though, that's the only one I think he deserves something over Havertz, only because Havertz has been a complete slow starter from the beginning.
He's dealt with some injury, but what I am banking on, if I'm frank, is that German connection between Havertz and Werner. I'm banking on that starting to click, and then being a Bruno Rashford type pairing, where if you get those two going, they could go like a Son and Kane. That's what I'm banking on, similar to a Salah and Mane for Liverpool.
Sure.
And I think that those two have more potential to do that than a Abraham and Werner, because we've kind of seen how that has worked.
I just want you to play whatever team you played against Arsenal, so you continue to lose.
Let's see. How did we? This was the typical 4-3-3 on Chelsea. Werner off to the left, Abraham and Pulisic up top, Mount, Jorginho, Kovacic, Chilwell, Silva, Zuma, Reece James.
Zuma. Every time I hear his name,
he scored a boatload of goals, but he's not the one you want to be scoring goals.
No, that's true. He was in the position that he had to.
Yeah. Set piece master.
Yeah. So there's a lot of inconsistency in the Chelsea world. But I digress. We should move on.
Well, speaking of inconsistent consistency, can number 3 on the last of Ferris's big Premier League headlines, pardon me, can Arsenal get back into the place for Europe following 3 wins on the bounce, with one of them being against fellow London club Chelsea, as well as a win in the FA Cup yesterday against Newcastle. Whew, that took forever to end.
Extra time, yeah.
Yeah, extra time. But then with a really good goal by Smith Rowe. Boom. I mean,
you're welcome. We gave you your bounce.
What did I text you, Ferris? From the molten wreckage of blue slag shall the red phoenix of Arsenal shall rise. That's right.
You've only risen 3 spots, and you're still out of the top 10. So hey, I wouldn't go.
That's just one wing beat, dude. One wing beat. This is what I want to see. I want to see the younger players that Arteta's working with start to show some leadership, start to work together well. I mean, yeah, I'd not like to be in 11th place, but this is the kind of progress that you want to see, because like trying to, it's pointless having Ozil conversations. Well, now because he's officially gone at this point. Forget whoever isn't working out right now that's been there. What is it about the new guys or the younger players that you can actually make something out of that team that you've got? So, I mean, for me, I feel pretty good. I've seen some promising combinations of players out there that are.
I won't even ask you the same thing that I asked Ron of what's your best team. What's your best back 4?
We haven't signed them yet.
Sergio Ramos.
I can make
our Scottish guy. God, why did I just lose his name?
Tierney's great.
Tierney, he's great. I love him in post match too. He's such a broguish Scottish dude. That's not settled yet. I don't like.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. That is not settled.
So here, I'll make it easier for you. Who's your, so far out of the players, who is your A, biggest disappointment, B, greatest surprise?
Ooh, I like it.
So the greatest surprise, the greatest disappointment, like
single player.
I guess. And I don't want to call it out on this person, because maybe something just didn't work out. I don't know, but it's hard not to put Ozil in that spot for the amount of money that he makes. And
does he even count? He hasn't been on. He hasn't actually played for like a year.
But that's what I mean. Like, it is so disheartening, though. It's such a. Because even the news lately that, okay, it looks like he's going to go play in Turkey, and that might be official. Maybe I'm an idiot and say it's official yet, but
no, not as of yet. It's not.
It kind of made it sad again, because you saw people were playing all the celebrations they had when Ozil was announced as a signing, right? So I don't know. Maybe that's just because of that. That's like a little fresh on my head, because it's like, I heard the news like, okay, good, we can offload some dead wood, but then like you see all the footage of the celebrations of signing Ozil, you're like, man, damn, this is just kind of sad, and then when I look at the rest of the crew, I mean, I guess my next, okay, so as far as like more current playing players, I guess it would probably be, and again, I don't know about this being talent, maybe just not working out with the system of the crew, but I would go Pepe with.
Yes,
probably is who I would go with.
Biggest disappointment. Yes.
God
Almighty. So
that one's just not sad.
I lash into him every game I watch with Phil. I'm like, oh man.
The Ozil one is sad. The Pepe is like a frustrating disappointment.
God Almighty.
But he also has a ton of talent, and it's just not coming together. I mean, I put him as a disappointment above Willian, to be honest, because Willian, you
kind of expected that from him.
Yeah, like it would have been surprising if he had really been awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be Pepe. What was your other question, Ron? Who's your biggest surprise?
Yep.
I think the biggest surprise. Okay, I'm going to the biggest surprise is that the fans like Mustafi again because of how nice he was. They don't like him as a player, but he was like, he did his sort of like, he was real honest about his situation. And it was funny to me how the fans were like, oh, well, he's a nice bloke though. Never mind. Like they kind of like laid off of him. Like that was adorable.
Oh, I got to send you something, by the way. Let me find it. You guys will get a kick out of it. Hold on. Anyways.
Maybe the other one. I mean, in the very short term, Smith Rowe has been a bit of a surprise.
That he has.
I think also, you know what though, punching above his weight. I mean, showed promise, but has actually jumped on that promise quicker than I think anticipated. Probably Saka. I'd go Saka and then put Smith Rowe right under that. I think would be my two.
I agree with you on Saka.
For me, I think Tierney's also been a. He looks like he could be at that club for a long time, and he's solid. Like you don't need to go after another. Was he left back?
Yeah,
he stays. He's good. We have one position completely solid on that team. That's him.
And you know what? I mean, right now, I mean, I know like he's been there for a bit, but him and Bellerin in the back, like that's fine by me. Just get a couple more folks.
Why does Bellerin look like he is a fashion model for the cartel?
I see what you're saying. Because, like...
I was going to say, he looks like, what's his name from Star Wars?
Oh, he's got the Kylo Ren thing?
The Kylo Ren thing going right now.
Does he? God, like his pants, his shirt's tucked in, but looks completely different than how Tierney does it. He wears his...
He's just angry they're not
pants up high
tight anymore.
It's not, like, he is so... Well, I know, like, on Instagram, he's so into fashion and he's so into all of that. He looks... Like, he's like completely like transformed into this fashion statement of a right back.
Well, because he's washing up quickly and he needs to have something to fall back on.
There you go. And I just sent you guys the Mustafi thing that I saw the other day, which I thought was quite hysterical.
I just looked up a thing on transfers, and the headline was disappointing or depressing. Dele Alli, Jack Wilshere, and Mesut Ozil lead the Fallen Stars, desperate for a deal this month.
God, it's
that's
true,
great, Ferris. That's great, Ferris.
Wait, did you send it via text?
Yeah, in the Brewtiful Game chat. That's great.
That was on our Orlando Reds.
Security in DC be like Mustafi. Oh my God, that is
Phil
hysterical.
Jones.
Oh my God. Oh geez. Yeah, man, that's pretty frustrating. I will say my other disappointment is just a pure like out of it can't be disappointing because you expect it. I'm just so as Xhaka, just you piss me off. Calm down. Just play.
He out of your entire team, I think is the only player that I go meh about, because you can't count on him. You can't count on him for anything. He's just a body taking up space.
No, even when he does,
you can count on him for a card a game.
Even when he does something like scores like a wicked set piece or something, you're just like, I'm mad at you for scoring.
You're still there.
Yeah, I'm like, you just stretched your life out here a little bit longer.
I just don't. I feel bad for Mikel Arteta. I really do, because the whole team, his whole time there, the team is basically like you're. I know you can't see this because you're listening, but this is the whole time I think of Mikel Arteta making this face.
Yeah, his grimace.
What do I do? What's happening?
Well, it's the article
on the inside, yeah.
I just pulled up was there's $100 million dilemma with Oza. There's so much weird money stuff that's tied up and stuff. It's a little hard.
Who's going to pay £100 million for him?
It's hard to shuffle people around and
for who?
Ozil.
No, God, you would get a quarter of that.
No, it's. I think it's part of as they were saying, it's part of the dilemma with Ozil is like there's a lot of money tied up into him that's guaranteed and stuff.
Yeah, like that, and he's on like what $275K a week or something. It's not more.
And he's just been sitting.
Yeah, so as he
says, do we know when's the last time he started?
Mesut Ozil is happy to leave Arsenal this transfer window. This is according to the Sun. So take what you can.
Wow, there you go. Yeah.
And let Gunners spread his money owed over the next 3 years. So the remainder of his £350,000 a week deal, which still has 6 months to run.
It was what?
£350,000 a week.
Oh my God, deal. I wasn't even close. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's and again, that's not Arteta. And I guess that's where I hope Arteta lasts long enough to have more of his own crew and not this stuff dragging down, so you can actually make a good call on what it is he does or doesn't offer Arsenal as a manager. Yeah. Boom.
Does anybody know when his last game was?
It's been a bit.
I'm looking it up. I'm actually asking.
I think it was like early 2020.
2007. The last match for Ozil.
He gave an assist to Alexis Sanchez, actually, I think.
Yesterday. Against Newcastle.
Oh, he did play.
Yeah.
Ozil?
Yes. January 4th. Right?
No, I think that was 2020.
Oh, was that
That's January 2020. I don't think he...
What?
Did he play yesterday?
No, you're right. He didn't play yesterday. Sorry, that was
the first thing. No way.
It was the first thing that popped up when I pulled up the information.
Yeah, I think it was January of 2020.
You might be real right about that.
Hey, thanks, man.
Which is super sad.
That's a lot of £275,000 a week sitting, not playing.
350,000, dude.
£350,000 a week, and he's riding the bench. Man,
the last time he hold on, I think I have it right here.
Why should he try and play? He can play in practice, not hurt himself, and make $350K.
It's kind of disgusting. And by kind of, I mean very. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, he definitely wasn't in the lineup yesterday. I don't know why that was the thing that popped up.
So he hasn't played any matches in the 2021 season so far. But I can't find when his actual last match was.
Something that I'm looking up says June 17th, 2020, but that's not right.
That could be right.
I don't see. I don't even see him in this year.
Just because I remember there was a game. It was like, oh, he's in.
But he wasn't even on the bench or was on the team though. So that's why I was like, what?
Oh well, we talked about him too long. We can move on.
We can move on. Just I guess the only
March 7th, 2020. He had an assist to Lacazette in the 78th minute.
This is just prior to lockdown, then.
Yeah. Yeah, he started right behind Nketiah in that match against West Ham in the Premier League.
So almost a year.
Yeah, it shows for some reason that he played or was in the match against Man City in June where you guys lost 3-0, but I don't even see him in the starting lineup on the bench, so I'm pretty sure that was March was the last time that he's played. So, yeah, just before lockdown. Interesting.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Brutal. That's the end of that.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about the Premier League was just, and we kind of threw it out there earlier, was the bottom of the table seems kind of set almost at this point with Sheffield 2 points and West Brom at only 8. I don't. Fulham has got 11, but them and Brighton Hove, they could trade back and forth. But I don't think you're going to see a big change in that bottom between now and the end of the year. That might. I don't think so either. That might be set pretty early. Which brings us around to the FA Cup.
Dun, dun, dun. There's a bunch of matches being played right now.
I know.
While we pod.
Can I? I know Ferris has something he wants to do, but can I say something about a match that's going to be happening today or is about to happen?
Sure.
So we can talk about the FA Cup, but this is the magic of the FA Cup. I'd just like to point out. Nikki Crosby from BN Sports tweet. I'm just going to quote it here. At Crosby Nikki, today we've got the biggest mismatch in FA Cup history as Marine AFC hosts Spurs official. To put into perspective, Marine's £2,000 weekly wage bill is what Son and Kane combined earned in the last hour.
Oh. Wow.
That right there, rough. That is the magic of the FA Cup. Right there.
And the stadium is the Marine Travel Arena in Crosby, Merseyside.
Yeah.
And it's barren.
Yeah, dude, I look at the pictures and go, I would love to go be there. It looks like such a just...
What really sucks about that
pies
is,
and beers and Gaelic.
What really sucks about that is the Marine fans would come out in droves to support their team against Tottenham.
This is what this is what you like wish for in the FA Cup is a home tie against one of the big boys in the Premier League.
Right. And that's not going to happen. I mean, the tie might happen, but you're doing it without fans, and so the experience is drastically different.
Now, Ferris, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go into the some of this headline talk of the FA Cup, or?
We can. But what league do you guys think Marine is in?
Ooh.
I don't think they're in one.
In terms of
what's the like the one that's just like the bottom.
So you are correct-ish. They are in a non-league. I believe they might be the only non-league team, and they are in the Northern Premier League, which is below the leagues that we are going to cover. They are below the National League North and South. So I believe that is non-league football.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
So how did they get into the FA Cup?
Because the beauty of the FA Cup is, remember, this is the third round. It starts all the way back at round 1, obviously. But it's every team, non-league or league. Any professional team can play. It doesn't necessarily... Now, that's why the Chupacabra Cup is the League Cup. You have to be in the leagues in order to play in that. But I do not believe...
you should be a member of the FA to be in the FA Cup, period.
Right.
That's so wild. 2,000 a week salary.
The Northern Premier League is an English football league which was founded in 1968. It has 3 divisions, so I believe they are in the Premier Division, but it's Premier Division, Division 1, Division 1 Northwest, and Division 1 Southeast. Good Lord. How awesome is that?
Like I said, crazy. That is a shame that that the fans can't go to that, because that's exactly the kind of thing you want.
Can you name me one other team from that league?
Oh, geez, I didn't even know Marine existed until this. So I definitely not.
What was the name of the quote league again?
The Northern Premier League.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Worcester?
No Worcester, no. You have teams like
Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest.
No, that's a great guess, but no. You have teams like FC United of Manchester, Lincoln United FC, Chasetown FC,
Jim's Fish Shop,
Newcastle Town FC, Prescott Gables Football Club.
Are they in Florida?
Coral Gables Football Club.
Wakefield FC, FC Halifax Town, Northern United FC, and City of Liverpool FC, amongst some of the notables out of the Northern Premier League.
So do all of the players that play for the City of Liverpool just go into a bar in some random town and say that they play for pool?
Why not? Why not?
Somebody will buy a beer.
But that is the beauty of what is a pod favorite of what the what? It's the FA Cup.
I love this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What the What? It's the FA Cup.
Now with theme music.
Yes. Yeah, made my morning.
That's awesome.
Morning. So, how we play it is Ferris will read out the teams and scoreline. And then I'm only going to do about 7-8 games because there was like 30 that happened. I will then ask, what league do you think X team is in? That's a point, if you get it right. I will then ask what the difference is for the number of league places in between the team that I named and the other team that they are playing. That's also a point. And then I have one bonus round question as well.
A bonus?
Correct. Gentlemen.
Okay. Northern Premier League Division 1, South, and East. Those are the ones that was like, that was what the Marine Cup was in, right? That's our bottom.
Correct. Okay. They're right. The only leagues that we are currently covering in this game are the Premier League, which has 20 teams, the Championship, which has 24, League One, which has 24, League Two, which has 24, the National League, which has 24, and then the subsidiaries of the National League. And the National League North has 21. The National League South has 21 teams. So that's a lot of teams there.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
I just got round 2 on my beer.
Oh, that's not a half bad idea. Actually, I'm going to need this before I let's go with another base lager.
Okay, I was just trying to decide if I was going to have the second one or not, but you guys just convinced me.
Oh, son of a monkeys.
I had forgotten about this glorious game.
I love it.
I'm so glad it's back.
Did you see his headline, Blake? The new year brings in the highly anticipated return of What the What? It's the FA Cup. Our contestants today are Sir Blake of Arse.
Of the Arse.
And Lord Ron of Stamford Bridge. Oh, that's brilliant.
Gentlemen, you may enter the battlefield. All right.
2-man enter, 1-man lead.
All right, here we go. The first game that we are covering is going to be Bournemouth 4, Oldham Athletic 1. Gentlemen, I think we all know what league Bournemouth is currently in.
Yes.
Which is the Championship, correct?
Yes, they are in the Championship, just the league below. Probably going to stay there.
What league is Oldham Athletic in?
I'm going to go League 2.
I think they're in the National League.
Lord Ron of Stamford Bridge gets the point. They are in League 2.
Who's that?
Here we go.
Who did that?
I did that.
Blake, did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was definitely Blake.
So happy we bought that board.
So, how many league places do you think these two teams have between them? I'm not going to tell you the places they're currently in their leagues, because then you could do fast math and it kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Right.
So say that one more time. Sorry.
So Bournemouth are in the championship.
Right.
Oldham Athletic are in League Two. What do you think the number of league places in between those two teams are?
Let's say 22.
You sure about that? I'm like, championship to League Two. Look at the number of clubs.
He said that.
Oh, he did. You're right.
You know what? No.
You're right. You're right.
I was going from League Two to National League is in my brain. That's where I was going.
You're right. You said
picked National. Yeah.
I'm going to say 30. 30.
I mean, for some reason, I have to give Ron the point. He's the closest, but he's also off by double his amount. Oh. There are 60 league places in between Bournemouth and Oldham Athletic. Bournemouth are currently third in the championship, and Oldham Athletic are currently 15th in League Two.
Holy
60 places. Ron sweeping that round with both points. Lord Ron of Stamford Bridge.
Thank you.
So, we have Blackpool and West Brom. It was 2-2, and Blackpool won on penalties 3-2.
Crazy.
Yes, I actually watched the penalties in that. Now, we all know that West Brom is in the Premier League, correct? We all kind of know where they're at in the Premier League. What league, though, do you think Blackpool is in?
I think Blackpool's in League One.
Okay.
I'm going to go with League Two.
Blake gets the point. They are in League One. All right, I love it. How many league places do you think is in between West Brom and Blackpool?
$44.
Ron, you go first this time. Or wait, I'm sorry, Blake, what did you say?
44.
44? Okay.
They're in League One. West Brom is in the Premier League. So I'm going to say, hang on, I got to take my socks off. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say 52.
Blake sweeps this round.
Damn it.
He's only 3 off, because you said 41, right, Blake?
44.
44. All right, we're not doing the go over, but you both went over. So the actual number of league places is 38, because West Brom are all the way down there in 19th, right? Blackpool in League One are in 13th, so they're kind of mid-table there. So Blake sweeps that round, and we have a tie going into round 3.
Yeah.
All right, Sheffield United. Again, we all know what league they're in. We all know the place that they're. They played and they won actually a game against Bristol Rovers, 3-2.
What a good name,
Bristol Rovers. Yes. What league do you think the Bristol Rovers are in?
Who was the first club you said there?
Sheffield United.
Oh, playing against the Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers are in the National League.
Ron?
I'm going to go League One.
Ron gets the point. They are in League One. Gentlemen.
Bum, 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 sound in there.
Gentlemen, what is the number of league places in between the bottom of the table club Sheffield United and the aforementioned Bristol Rovers?
Ooh.
Well, Sheffield's at the bottom, so 36.
Ron?
28. 28.
Blake gets the point. There is 43 league places in between the two. Because Sheffield United are currently last in the Premier League in 20th, and Bristol Rovers are more near the bottom of the table in League One in 18th. So we are, again, tied going into the fourth round.
Ooh. What's the last round?
Squeaky butt time. There's what did I say, 7 rounds?
Oh, geez. All right, let's do this.
So you got it. We have Burnley 1, MK Dons 1, and Burnley advanced 4-3 on penalties because, gentlemen, there were obviously the penalties that we just said with Blackpool and West Brom, but why are we going to penalties in the third round proper? It's actually a COVID thing this year where there's no replays.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
So, Burnley, we obviously know them, and they are in the Premier League. What league do you think MK Dons is in, though?
League 2.
I think I'll go with Blake, League 2.
You both are incorrect, so nobody gets the point.
Damn it. I love that.
They are in League 1.
Oh, I was going to go lower, so all right.
How many places in the leagues is between Burnley and MK Dons?
Fitty.
50.
I'm going to go 43.
Ooh, Ron. One off. It is 44 places. Oh. Ron leads 4-3 going into the next round.
Ooh.
All right, gentlemen. We have Millwall against Boreham Wood.
We are effing Millwall.
Yes. Up 2-0. They win the game. I will give you Millwall. Millwall are currently in the championship. I will not give you their league place, though. What league is Boreham Wood? I don't even know if they're like United or anything, but what league are they in?
National League South.
Okay. Ron?
That's a tough one. I want to say that they... What did Blake say again?
I said league. I said National League South.
All right. I think you're right in the National League. I'm just going National League.
Ron gets the point. They are in just the National League. So, gentlemen, with Millwall being in the championship and Boreham Wood being in the National League, how many league places are in between those two clubs?
I don't have to do math right now.
I'm going to go 68. Did I do my math right?
Blake?
I'm going to go 84.
Ron, 2 off this time. 66 league places between the two. Well done, well done. All right, gentlemen, moving on to the next. We got 3 more left. Stevenage, good old Stevenage. We all know them. We all of them. and Swansea City. Again, I will give you Swansea City. They are currently in the championship. What league, though, are Stevenage in?
Okay.
I'm going to go League 2. Maybe League 1.
National League South.
Ron, League 2 was correct.
Oh, man.
Ron with a substantial lead at the current time. How many
Completely
league
locked.
places? How many league places are in between the number of leagues, or in between the number of teams? Or no, you know the hell I mean at this point.
So wait, what was again? Championship to League 2.
Correct.
51.
44.
Ron's closest to the hole, but not by a close margin. 68 places in between the two, because Stevenage are at the bottom of League 2. They're in 22nd place.
Oh, wow.
And Swansea City are currently second in the championship.
Yeah,
So that's a lot of places. All right. Dos Mas. We have...
Is this the final round?
This is not.
Oh.
Dos Mas means 2 more.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
We have...
I thought you said Una Mas.
Another beer. We have Exeter City and Sheffield Wednesday. I actually watched this game because I used to play with Exeter City on FIFA, I don't know, FIFA 10 or something, 8 maybe. And I took Exeter all the way to the Champions League in career mode. So wow. I actually watched this game. It was an interesting game. Sheffield Wednesday, I will give you. They are currently in the championship. But what league is Exeter City in?
They're in the National League.
Ron?
What's their name again? Chorley?
Exeter City.
Exeter.
Oh, Exeter. Sorry. Exeter. Shit. I will say National League South.
You both are wrong, so nobody gets any points for that.
I love that trombone.
Exactly.
I know I got some help over here.
After
they end up picking better than I do.
Just tell her picking number. They are in League 2. What is the difference in the number of league places between these two? Again, it's Sheffield Wednesday in the championship and Exeter City in League 2.
55. That's my guess.
58.
You jerk.
Blake is technically closest, but you all overshot it by a lot.
Yes.
There is only 37 league places in between the two because Sheffield Wednesday are currently 21st in the championship, and Exeter City are currently 10th in League 2. So, Blake, you have no hope of actually winning the FA Cup round version 3, but we go to the last one.
The final round. We'll get our money's worth out of this soundboard today.
Hell yeah.
I will give you a bonus point of 5 points.
Whoa.
In this round, if you can tell me what place and league Chorley are in.
Chorley? What place and what league?
Correct. Now, the result was very shocking. Chorley won 2-0 against Derby County. Derby, I will give you. Derby are in the championship. But what league and what place are Chorley in?
Chorley are in... I keep saying National League South and losing. So I'm going to say National League South in 23rd.
Okay.
No, 22nd. Can't have a 23rd National League South. So I'll go 22nd.
I'm going to say they're opposite Blake. I'm going to say they're the North, and I'm going to say they're 14th.
Okay. I will not tell you if either of you are correct, because that would defeat the purpose of this next one. But I will go into that here in a second. What is the difference in the number of league places between the two? Well, actually, what I will say they are in National League North. So Ron gets the point there.
Whew. And who did they play again?
Darby County in the championship.
Oh, geez, this is a lot of math. 25
North.
That's. I can't do math this quick. I'm gonna go 89.
I love you, Daddy.
Oh, you hear that? She said, "I love you, Daddy." She knows I'm losing this game very badly right now. She feels bad for me.
Hi, Daddy.
How many did you say, Blake?
I said 89.
92.
Blake is correct.
Oh, damn it.
Not fully correct. But there's 84 league places in between the two clubs. That is, I believe, second highest only to the one that you mentioned prior to the game, Blake, and Marine and Tottenham.
Wow.
And Ron, you were close with where Chorley are currently ranked in the National League North. They are ranked 10th, not 14th.
Oh.
So close, but the final count for what? It's the FA Cup.
Did you just burp up good beer mixed with Cookie Puss beer? There you go.
The answer is yes, always. Ron, you ended with, no, I gotta do math. I believe 9 points.
Oh, solid
Blake,
showing.
You were firmly in second on 5 points.
Firmly in second.
Tell him what Ron's won.
Well, Ron, you have won a Lifetime Engagement Participation Award to participate in the next year's What the What? It's the FA Cup.
I would like to thank my agent. I would like to thank...
There you are.
Well
Jeff.
done.
It never gets old. What the what? The FA Cup.
That's the
That's
best.
right. It's been What the What? The FA Cup. The game show within the Brewtiful Game. Boom.
Oh,
Getting our money's worth out of this soundboard.
I love
That's
it.
great.
The FA Cup is currently on. There's like 5,000 games. We don't want to go through them all, but
So
go to whatever
give
soccer
you-
site you like. And
I'll give you the quick score real quick. There are 6 games that were just played. Most of them are finished, except for one, which is still in the 99th minute.
extra time.
Yeah. So Crawley Town 3, Leeds United 0.
Love it. My guess is Leeds played a half, a very young team.
Yeah,
I
probably.
would guess.
Bristol City 2, Portsmouth 1. Cheltenham is currently tied with Mansfield.
Yes, I've been watching that game, yeah.
Chelsea 4, Morecambe 0. Man City 3, Birmingham 0. And Barnsley 2, Tremere 0. There are 3 games tomorrow. Marine versus Tottenham. Well, tomorrow from my time.
Yeah.
So that is probably,
Later
that's
today
the
for
next
us.
day. Right. For me, it's tomorrow at 1 a.m. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, Marine and Tottenham, Newport County and Brighton, and Stockport, West Ham.
Nice. Good old Stockport.
Where the hell is Stockport?
You gotta love the FA Cup though, because you learn all this geography that you didn't know about the United Kingdom. And you're such a small country. You have so many friggin' leagues, so many teams. We're excited over here.
Can you imagine if Marine just get a goal? Just if they get a goal, that would be massive.
Yep.
And you're right. That is the beauty of the FA Cup.
Yep.
Because they don't even have to win, but they have a big club going to their home stadium in Marine. And if they even get a goal, that town is made for the next few years. And honestly, if times were of normal times and fans were out in and the TV, they would be able to pay for this club for the next 10 years based on this one game alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so brutally awful about all this.
Yes. Now they'll still get the TV money, but it's not quite the same with the fans and ticket sales and all of that. But
I've just finished reading a book called How Soccer Saved the World.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And, yeah, it's a pretty great book. And one of the cool passages in it is essentially the equivalent of this guy telling, he's from this, tiny town like Stockport, this just small town in the middle of somewhere England. And they show up, they score a goal against a Premier League team. And this guy is writing about how he took his son, and one of his favorite moments of life is that he took his son to watch Stockport take on Tottenham, and they scored a goal, and how even though they lost the match, the entire town was partying for weeks because they scored a goal against like a top 16.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And Stockport are in the National League, gentlemen.
Stockport's in the National League?
Correct. And they are fourth in the National League. Actually, hold on. Yeah. They are in the National League. Same as Borwood. Duh. Come on, guy. How can you know that?
Yeah.
But no, that's a cool book, Ron. Send it in the chat, because I'd be interested to pick that up and have a little light reading. And
when soccer
I have time for that
world.
now, so yeah. The FA Cup.
I'm sorry. It's called How Soccer Explains the World.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there was one that I will send for you guys that it's called Bloody Confused. It's a book that I read quite a while ago. I actually have it in my cabinet over here, but it is about a gentleman who wanted to learn more about soccer and the English game, at least. And at the time, Portsmouth were in the Premier League, but very, lower in the league. And he went and supported them, and it's very interesting read. So I would be very interested to read that book, Ron.
Arson just had a book drop too. I was thinking about snagging.
He did. Yeah, he did.
His autobiography or memoir, whatever you want to call it.
Arsonologist.
Yes. Hey, man. You got to do what you got to do. There was actually a really good special with Raj from the Men in Blazers. I think did an interview with him talking about that.
I think that was.
So is that it? We have no more news?
That's it, gents.
I think that's it.
It was all about the FA Cup. Man.
God, I love that game.
It's been a year. Took us a year to get there. It feels like it's been 5 years since the last time we did the FA. What the FA.
Yeah. Agreed.
It does not feel like
Very
a year
true.
ago.
This is the third year that we've done it now.
next year at this time when we play this game again, I might actually be in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. Might be able to
I don't
do it
know
in
that we'll all
studio.
be together.
We could
Well,
even
that's true.
possibly,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I know. There's a potential we could possibly be face to face.
We all just got to go get the vaccine, and then we'll be fine.
Well, I have
Thanks,
to.
Harry.
I have to get right. I know. As far as we know right now, we don't know what 2021's got in store yet.
Right.
I got to give a shout out to the Saint Bernardus Belgian wit ale, the Tokyo version. Good grief, this thing is good, man. I can't get over how delicious this is.
I'll send you guys the website.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
I'll send you guys the website for this A-Tor 20 Dunkel because it's quite heavenly. And it's actually gotten more flavorful as it's warmed up. When I drank it, it was right out of the refrigerator, so it was probably about 38, 39 degrees. And now it's probably in the middle 50s, and it's much better now that it's warmed up a bit.
Nice. I gotta give a shout out to the base lager. Oops, sorry, Ron.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm sorry, I totally cut you off. Go ahead, Ferris. I'll say my news at the end.
The base lager from Tactical Brewing. If you can't tell from the name, that's the brewery was started from a few different armed services vets, and they do not put out a bad beer, gents. It is a very smooth drinking lager that
everything has been good that they have made.
Absolutely. Ron, what was the thing you had to say?
I passed my first Cicerone exam.
Oh,
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I'm Cicerone level 1.
Oh, Cicerone. And for those at home, what is the Cicerone?
The Cicerone is essentially the sommelier of beers, right? So sommelier is wine, Cicerone is beer. There are 4 levels. I finished my first one, which was super fun. I highly recommend it for anybody who even wants to know anything about beer, because it teaches you so much cool history of all the different beers. It teaches you the colors and all these great science facts. So it was a ton of fun to learn about all this beer. And then the next one, number 2, is all about brewing and fermenting. So the science nerd in me is going to come out huge when I start taking that one.
And is that a online thing that you can do, or?
Yeah, 1 and 2 are online courses. 3 and 4 are courses plus tastings. So I'll probably
you have to send us the site for that too.
Yeah, certainly. And what's fun is, so Blake and I used to brew a ton when we lived together back in our poor post-college days kind of thing. And we used to brew a bunch of beer, and he was the recipe side, I was the fermentation side. So
Ron had vials of yeast cultivated.
Yeah. Yep. And we remember all the yeast washing?
Yep.
Yeast washing. If I had a nickel forever.
We just had our refrigerator door was full of jars of yeast from beers we had brewed so that we could reuse the yeast.
So that we could add strains to carry on. That Falconer's IPA yeast, that was the bomb.
God, that stuff was so good. We got wasted, just wasted on that. I made, for Blake's birthday, I made a kegerator. So I took a refrigerator and drilled it all out and got it all squared away, put a tap on it, and we made Coney kegs. And our first one was a Falconer's Flight IPA, but we didn't have the CO2 right. So it was constantly being overly foamy and just a pain. So,
but you don't want to, you poured it out, it would be a bunch of foam, but it would turn to beer. You didn't want to throw it away. So you drank it and tried to pour another glass. And in the attempt to get it right, we poured so many glasses. We were so hammered by the time we got to the beer being correct.
We finally did get it right, but man, it took a little while.
Because that was like a potent IPA of like 8% alcohol too. Like no joke.
Yeah.
It was no joke.
And it was good. We did good on that beer. Too bad most of it was foam.
That's awesome though. I might have to go noodle around the Cicerone stuff to see what that's about.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's fun. I think there's some really interesting things you'll learn about glassware and serving. And one of the things that I learned that I didn't realize was that temperature doesn't skunk beer, light does.
Yeah, the
So as
light
long
is
as-
a big deal.
Mm.
I mean, they don't recommend you leave.
It taking so long for canning to be a big deal in the craft brew industry because that's better for it because the light doesn't get in.
Yeah. But with brown bottles absorbing 98% of the light, bottling was cheaper. So that's kind of why it all. But Blake, you would love it because the entire first class or session is mostly on the history of basically every beer.
Oh, that's
where it came from, why it happened, how cold fermenting was a thing. Cool. Yeah, and it's a ton of history on all these beers.
That's cool.
That's rad.
Yeah. So if you're a fanatic of beer or you just want to know more about it, that's definitely a way to go. That's good.
We need to create a Cicerone soccer class. All right, gents.
Nobody would take it. Nobody would take it.
I think, just us. I think that's got us wrapped up then until next time. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Untapped. Just go to thebrewtifulgame.com. You'll find all that stuff there. But especially Untapped is where we're probably the super active at, as well as Instagram, just as far as keeping up with all the different brews and beers we have tried. And I think that wraps us all up, gents, right? Before we head out, hold on a second. I got a notification on my computer of breaking news. Oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
A cheese factory blew up in France. Debris is everywhere.
How about that Cheltenham and Mansfield game here?
Where's that horn sound on the soundboard?
Yeah.
That one was for Ferris because it was the worst one that I found.
That is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's terrible.
Debris everywhere. Oh, my God.
Debris. I mean, I know it's bad. You camembert it. It wasn't very Gouda.
Just stop while you're ahead.
It's nacho kind of joke.
The nacho one was the best out of all of it.
You're welcome.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I'm still trying to roll. All right, well, I guess that wraps us up. These make me too happy. All right, gentlemen, love the beer, cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game. Sláinte.